welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. I am the Goose. I'm so glad you joined me for another show. Yeah, we're still in lockdown. Yeah, as of most of you are. We're trying to be careful, of course. Not fearful, but careful. And doing the show from my son's room, and we've got my dog Cooper. He's pretty worn out, so I don't think he's going to bother us. But we've got a great show for you again today. First, though, we'll start, like we always do, with some caffeine. My coffee, as you know, very strong, like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right, we haven't talked about Manny Pacquiao for a while. We heard quite a while ago he was going to fight in July. He's a busy guy. He's a senator. And it's a good thing he was going to wait till July, because with this medical scare going on, we're going to have to wait that long anyhow. So what we're going to do here is bring you a special installment, a 3-part installment called Journey of a Legend, Manny Pacquiao. It's actually a 4-phase journey. The first is his career in the Philippines, where he made his mark as a brawler, a slugger, a knockout artist. And he ended that part of his career with a world championship. That was in 1998. And then he came to the United States. His first fight was his first fight with Freddie Roach as his trainer.
Well, they walked in my gym about 12 years ago, him and Mr. Nazario, his manager at the time, and they asked me to work the mitts with them, and after one round on the mitts, I walked over to my people, I said, wow, this kid can fight.
Do you remember the day when you first met Freddie?
Yeah, I was remember that was 2001, and we met here at the gym. He's looking for my my future, good future, not bad.
I never really met anybody that had the explosion that he has on his punches, with the speed and the power, and just for a little guy, he weighed 122 pounds back then. He was just amazing, and we really hit it off from day one. And then, a month later, the number one contender fell out of the title fight. He was the next available opponent. He fought Ledwaba for the world title, knocked him out in the 4th round, and it's been just a great run ever since then.
And it was a kind of a strange introduction to American and world boxing fans. It was he took the place of another fighter. His first opponent was Lelo Ledwaba from South Africa, a world champion in his own right. He brought a record of 33-1-1 to the bout in Alamo, Texas, and in his 6 title bouts, Ledwaba was 6-0 with 4 KOs, so this guy's the real deal. Unfortunately, he had never heard of Manny Pacquiao. He admitted that after the fight. And even the announcers had never heard of Manny Pacquiao. They couldn't get his name right half the time in the early part of the fight.
Pacquiao. Say Pacquiao. Pacquiao should fight here. He shouldn't try to get into a boxing match with this master boxer from South Africa.
But Pacquiao reminded people that he is a champion, and he put a severe beatdown on Lelo Ledwaba, knocking him out in the 6th round. And one look at this guy's face tells you it's a bloody mess. You're gonna be punished when you get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. So Pacquiao made his presence felt in that first fight in the United States, and we're also reminded by the announcers that he was already a legend in the Philippines. His next fight was against many Mexican champions, Mexican warriors. And this guy is a Hall of Famer. His name, Marcos Antonio Pereira. Pereira, Hall of Famer, brought a 57-3 record into the fight. And just to let you know, I don't throw the word legend around very lightly. Pereira was ranked by ESPN as one of the 50 greatest boxers of all time, and he was a 3-division world
To
champion.
two of the lower weight classes' brightest stars as featherweight king Marco Antonio Barrera takes on Manny Pacquiao of the Philippines. Although many observers see this matchup as a potential candidate for Fight of the Year, most of the pre-fight hype centered around the metal plate, which was surgically inserted into Barrera's head 6 years, 16 fights ago. He's been medically cleared and now takes his superior boxing skills and ring generalship into the fray tonight against the hard-hitting Pacquiao, who has knocked out 11 of his last 12 opponents and is moving up to featherweight following a dominant reign at 122 pounds.
The fight started inauspiciously for Manny Pacquiao with a knockdown. But you look at the highlights, it wasn't really a knockdown. He basically tripped over one of Barrera's legs. But then the beatdown began. He put a whooping on Barrera, and his people decided to stop the punishment in the 11th round.
It's not bad enough. If you have a guy that was holding on to the...
Here comes Barrera's corner. Barrera's corner man is up on the apron. He's going to step into the ring. That's a good decision. Finally. They could have done that 2 rounds ago.
The next feat by the legend-to-be Manny Pacquiao is his first of 4 wars with Mexican legend Juan Manuel Marquez. We've seen them all, and we know if you get in the ring with Marquez, you're getting in the ring with another champion. He brought a record of 42-2 into the bout. A lot of interesting facts about Juan Manuel Marquez. First and the most disturbing is how he gets his nutrients, by drinking his own urine.
Yo creo que esto me ha servido, lo he hecho durante mis 5 o 6 peleas y me ha dado buenos resultados.
That aside, Juan Manuel Marquez, you have to admire him. He is a Hall of Fame fighter. He brings all of the necessary skills to the table. He's fast, he's tough, he'll box with you, he'll brawl with you, and he's one of the most highly technical boxers and one of the greatest counterpunchers I've ever seen. Juan Manuel Marquez is also a world champion in 4 weight classes. Oh, by the way, don't laugh at Marquez drinking his own urine. He's no dummy. Like Pacquiao, he has a degree. He's an accountant, so he's got lots of money to count too. So, having said that, he's one of the great fighters. The first round was a stark reminder to Juan Manuel Marquez that Manny Pacquiao is not your ordinary fighter. He was knocked down 3 times in the first round. After that, though, it was nip and tuck the whole way through. And believe it or not, even though he was knocked down 3 times in the first round, they scored it a draw. Yes, a draw. Why? Well, it shouldn't have been a draw. It should have been a victory by Manny Pacquiao. One of the judges made an error in scoring. And for those of you who aren't aware of scoring in boxing, if you win a round, the score is 10-9. If there's 1 knockdown, 10-8. 2 knockdowns, 10-7. And in this case, 3 knockdowns. It should have been scored a 10-6 round. But one of the judges screwed up, and he admitted it after the fight. But it's still it was a draw. So, but a great war. And another war on the horizon. His first fight with Eric Morales. And forgive me, I don't speak Spanish. El Terrible, Terrible. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but you get in the ring with Eric Morales, you're in the ring with another Hall of Famer. Here are a few interesting facts about Eric Morales that you probably don't hear about other fighters. First of all, he brought a record of 42-2. Now check that, 47-2 into the fight. Morales was the first Mexican to win championships in 4 different weight divisions. His father started training him as a fighter at the age of 5. Yeah, 5 years old. He was a fighter already. He turned pro at the age of 16, and ESPN ranked him as one of the 50 greatest boxers of all time. So he's certainly a Hall of Famer. And after he quit fighting, he became the Park and Rec director for the city, his hometown of Tijuana. And like Manny Pacquiao, he's a politician. He's a congressman in the Chamber of Deputies. Okay, let's get back to fighting. This one was a war. the first ever meeting between Eric Morales and Manny Pacquiao. One more note. As you know, boxing is a dirty, corrupt business. Very dirty. And Pacquiao's promoter at this time was a very corrupt man. His name was Murad Muhammad. He stole a lot of money from Manny Pacquiao. With this first Morales fight, during the negotiations, Muhammad agreed to Morales' demand of a certain style of gloves, but that was not to Pacquiao's liking, a puncher. And Freddie Roach called them pillows. So it really did not, show Pacquiao's strength, his punching power in this fight, but it was a brawl.
And I wanted to ask you about the gloves. Do you think that had you been given the puncher's gloves that you normally wear, Reyes gloves, that you would have had a better chance to do damage?
I think if we're using other clitoris gloves, I think I knock him out.
Why weren't you able to use your gloves? How did that happen, that your promoter gave that edge away?
Under the camp of Morales, they request that gloves, and then the Nevada Athletic Commission they want to use me winning gloves, because Morales he want to use winning gloves.
But you could have used your gloves. There's no longer a rule that you have to use the same gloves as the opponent.
All right, yeah, that's right. But we follow the decision of the Nevada the promoter. That's
You can use your gloves if you want, if it's not in the contract, but it was in the contract that we were winning gloves.
Was that a mistake to put that in the contract?
We were never asked.
Actually, I do not know that, and
In the fifth round, a headbutt left a nasty cut over one of Manny Pacquiao's eyes. He said after the fight he had a hard time seeing after that, but you couldn't tell by his performance after that. It was a brawl, and you see now highlights from the final, the 12th round. It was back and forth, and these guys were going at it tooth and nail. It was a true legendary fight between two legendary fighters. But it was a decision. Eric Morales got the victory over Manny Pacquiao. But first, Pacquiao had another bout with Barrera, and again, a victory by Manny Pacquiao. But it was not a knockout. In this case, it was a decision, but it was pretty obvious that, Manny Pacquiao had his way. It was a very clear-cut victory. After that, it was another match. This one was in March of 2008 against, guess who? Our good friend, Juan Manuel Marquez. And in this case, Pacquiao got the victory. But it was, just like all of his fights with Marquez, very, very close. You could have scored it either way. In this case, it was a very close decision, but a third round knockdown of Morales was the difference in the fight.
This is a late round rally for Pacquiao.
But this can change back and forth from this right here.
Down goes
Now,
Marquez.
he went at it again, Pacquiao did, with another Mexican fighter. That's why he got that nickname. Remember the Mexicutioner? That sounds kind of disrespectful. Funny at first, but disrespectful. And you know what? Pacquiao being Filipino, that's not how they are. I know. I'm married to one. Okay, they don't talk trash. They don't disrespect their opponents. That's not how they live. And Pacquiao did not like the nickname. And even though he got that name and he beat all these great Mexican fighters, he has the respect and admiration of the Mexican people. You gotta appreciate that. He finished off this part of his career, the journey of a legend, with an absolutely brutal beatdown of another champion. In this case, it was David Diaz. Now, this is June of 2008. Diaz, the lightweight champion, WBC. Now, Diaz admitted before the fight that he's not a boxer. He's not going to go in there and dance around and, like Mayweather or somebody like that. He's in there to fight. He's a brawler. And unfortunately, with Manny Pacquiao, if you stand toe-to-toe with him, you're going to come out on the wrong end. In this case, it was a very painful night for David Diaz.
How many more? Down he goes, and Pacquiao stops the fight. Should have never got to that. Welcome to the lightweight division.
After the fight, Diaz, respectful of champions, always, and he said that, Pacquiao's strength notwithstanding, he was just too quick. It was like fighting an octopus. He didn't know where the punches were coming from, at what time, what angle, from what side. He had no idea. And it's hard to fight against somebody who is full of surprises and empowered. And in this case, Manny Pacquiao was just too much for David Diaz. So that wraps up this installment of Pacquiao's career. As I mentioned earlier, we're running a 3-part series, The Journey of a Legend. The first part of the journey was Pacquiao in the Philippines, establishing his reputation as a knockout artist and a very, very tough customer. He ended that with a world title, and then came to the United States, and as we just showed you, he fought many great legendary Hall of Fame fighters, and showed that he is one of the best in the world, was one of the best at that time. Our next installment, very soon, will be Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters ever. And you'll see him take out legendary fighters left and right, and it was a joy to see somebody represent his country, first of all, and show what an amazing fighter Manny Pacquiao is. And then we'll wrap it up with Pacquiao as an older fighter, still a champion. What an incredible boxer Manny Pacquiao. I'm a huge fan, and anybody who really appreciates great champions has to respect Manny Pacquiao. So thanks for watching. That's it for this edition of Coffee with a Goose. We have many more shows to come, and thank you so much for subscribing. We really appreciate it. Talk to you again soon. Take care.